Good morning, Guam. It is Friday, and of course, it's time for another edition of Fit AF. I'm Julius Santos, and I'm here with Nikki Taimanglo, and she is a cycling,
Yes.
right? Cycling instructor here at Paradise Fitness Center. And today, she's going to show us how to get set up on the bike. She's going to run us through, I guess, I don't know what we call it, drills or sequences.
Yes, formats, different hills, sprints, we have climbs, there's some upper body along with it as well.
And I was thinking about that this morning. I was going to ask you, how do you balance that out? Because I've done a little bit of cycling before, and I'll tell you, man, my legs get so pumped. It's ridiculous. So it's going to be a very interesting, oh, wow, there you go. The camera's going down there. That just made me feel a little uncomfortable. But no, I'm ready to get into it, so I'm going to hand you the mic and go ahead and do your thing.
Okay, so first we're going to start with your measurement on your bike. So we're going to go ahead and come up here, and you're going to stand next to the bike real quick. And wherever your hip bone is at, that is where you're going to keep the height of the bike.
Oh, good, okay.
So, here,
And I always wondered what I can do it, but I always wondered what kind of indicator I could use. Is this a turn?
Yes, a
Okay,
turn.
there you go. So it does lock. That's good. It's not just a pull, it's a twist and pull. So I got a big noggin, so I need a locking mechanism. There you go. Right.
See?
So a little bit higher?
Yeah, maybe a little higher. Because it really does make a difference in your ride the way it's set up.
Well, I know because the important thing is the extension of your leg
Yes,
when
you
you're
need
driving,
full-
right?
yes.
You want it to maximize the efficiency
For sure.
and the power.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
And then as far as the seat placement as well, you're going to take your elbow up
Okay.
into where the handlebar is at, and you're basically going to measure it like that.
You want it to be fingertip, or is this perfect?
Yes, it should be around there. So it really depends on how comfortable you're going to be as well. I
From
like
the
to
seat,
sit
not from this, but from the
from
seat.
the seat. Yes,
Okay,
from the top of the seat. That should be okay.
Not bad,
Yes.
yeah.
So we're going to leave it at that. And then also with the handlebars, so the higher it is, the easier it is.
Okay.
And the lower it is, the more difficult it's also going to be as well.
Interesting.
And so right here is the resistance knob. So we're going to turn it all the way to the
Put that
left
at
for
0.
0. You already knew. And then of course right here, I'm going to go ahead and set you up.
Oh,
You're going
foot straps, okay.
you're going to put your feet all the way in. Let me just adjust you.
Want to get your toe
Yep.
all the way
Yep.
into this thing, strap into this thing.
For sure. And so there's different times you're going to be using just your heel and just your toe.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. So you're gonna find more movement in the heel when we do glutes, hamstrings, and then when we start to do sprints, and when we come up to maybe jog just a little bit, you're gonna start to use a little bit of your toes as well.
That's gonna transfer mostly to the quads,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
So how does that feel?
Oh, it feels
Do you-
great.
okay.
Okay. So there's no optimal. What would be the optimal way to measure the height of the?
So is this your first time on the bike, really? Couple
yeah,
times?
It's very
Okay.
little exposure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So again, like I said, it's easier when it's higher because it holds your body weight a little bit more upright,
Versus.
coming down and using more core and as well as upper body as well.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
what you're gonna do is to make it a comfortable ride too. I know this is gonna sound a little weird. Is you wanna not smash everything. You wanna
Yes, of
keep
course.
up and make it kind of a little bit more flat. So it's I know that sounds so weird,
No, it doesn't
but
sound
most
weird.
people.
I appreciate that. I don't want to smash things that shouldn't be smashed.
Most people, the biggest complaint that I feel like I have is just the ride, how uncomfortable the ride is because it's a little awkward at 1st. You kind of get used to it over time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the seat needs to be small enough, if you will, to
Yes.
allow the movement of
Yes.
your legs. Because if the seat was bigger, then you'll be trying to.
Oh,
If
yeah.
the seat were bigger, you'd be trying to,
Like
know,
and that's
cycle
another
like
thing
that.
I
Yeah.
wanted to go over. So knees and toes always pointing forward.
Right.
And then your elbows are in as well, and then you're slightly bent, keeping the arms nice and soft.
Ah, okay.
So you're not a cowboy, cowgirl with the knees and
Yeah,
toes
yeah.
out. And then you're pressing through the heels, and then we're going to start to add a little bit of resistance, so you start to feel the working resistance
Sure.
on the legs.
Oh, that wasn't working resistance? Shucks.
No.
Oh, okay.
So you're going
look
to
at
start to
that.
feel
It's
it,
like,
yeah. So every bike is different in here. It basically depends on your level as well.
Got it.
So we usually start off really light to get the legs warmed up, the hips, the knees, the ankles, everything else. And then also, so with the setup as well, I'm already set up. I wanted to show you that since you're using regular shoes, These are spin shoes that actually clip onto the bike right here. And these also make a difference in the ride as well. So versus wearing regular
so you can show us.
So versus wearing regular shoes and spin shoes, the pull of the leg coming up to the chest is a little harder. Plus the work in the legs is a little bit more difficult as well.
So you really get locked in with these shoes, right?
You can't move. You're basically stuck the whole time.
Right. It's like a relationship.
You can't run
It's
away.
like it's like getting married. You can't run away. You're stuck through. You're stuck to it, and you got to work through it.
Okay, so you're gonna join me on the bike as soon as I clip on, but
Sure.
so I usually clip on like this, so you can see it kind of, there's a little clip, we clip on, get locked in, you can hear that clip. Other side, we come over, same thing, and then we're locked in.
I was gonna ask, like, oh, the thing is not on her toes, but she doesn't need the strap because
Yeah.
she's locked in.
Yes.
Wow. All right, this is where I'm gonna pass the mic on over to Jason.
So we're gonna work with our first few drills, but first we'll warm it up. So you can go ahead.
Just try and project towards the mic on her thing, so you might have to yell.
All right.
All right.
I want to be locked in too. You know?
Okay, so you're gonna turn your knob all the way to the left. We'll start from the beginning, like we would in a normal class.
It's like I'm going downhill.
Exactly, and that's the way you're supposed to feel. So we're gonna go over some hand placements. So right here, I would call this a number 1, right here on the top of the handlebar. Right here, number 2. Number 3 would be on the sides. And number 4 would be at the top of the handlebars like this. So you're gonna feel different movements in the upper body as you start to do these things. Right here at number 4, we're pushing down into the heels. You're kind of bringing the chest slightly down, feeling some of the pressure in the lats. You can feel yourself kind of stretching out. You're gonna bring the glutes all the way towards the back of the saddle so you have a deeper stretch, hinging at the hips, keeping the chest slightly up. We're still breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're gonna slide our hands to a 3. Still pushing down into the heels. We're gonna reach down to the resistance wheel, and we're gonna turn it up just a little bit. Can you feel a little bit of resistance yet? All right, perfect. So again, we're still gonna keep the chest up, still warming it up, nice and easy. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. Bringing the hands to a number 2. Elbows in, slightly bent, and we're gonna start with a little bit of upper body. So we're gonna bring the chest slightly down, and then we're gonna push away from you. So it's just like a push-up, but on the bike. So down and up, elbows come close to the rib cage, down and up. 2 more, and last one. So another upper body movement we're gonna do is a right and left, so it's working the obliques. So you bring the elbow down to the right side.
Take off my spectacles here.
So right side, and then we're gonna hit the left side. Yep. So right and left, and right and left. Yep, there it is. So you're gonna start to feel that upper body working as well.
Yeah.
And then when we do add the music, because we can't have music, it's
Move to the beat.
Why do we not have music? Go ahead and blame me.
we're gonna blame it on Jason today.
Yeah.
So we're gonna reach down,
Facebook said no.
turning it up a little bit more, and then we're gonna reach for 3. So right here, we're gonna start to take it up. So the reason why I had your hand placement move is because now we're gonna allow the neck to be neutral with the spine, and we're gonna come up for a jog. So we're gonna slow it down just a little bit. You wanna make sure that there's a little bit of resistance on, so about a medium tension, and we're gonna come up side to side, getting ready to distribute the weight side to side. Yep. So it's an easy jog, right, left, right. Yep. Perfect. Keeping the core nice and tight. Distributing the weight side to side. We're gonna bring it back a little bit. So right here, hinging at the hips, you're gonna start feeling it a little bit more into the glutes, into the hamstrings. Keeping the knees up to the chest. Perfect. And we're gonna take it up a little bit. This is where we start to add a little bit of the upper body with the lower. So we come down and up. 2 and 3. Perfect. And 4. Last 4. 4. 3. 2. Last one. And 1. Have a seat. Perfect. So that was just warm up in the upper body. We have some other movements we can go over as well, but right now we're gonna go over some hills. So I really want you to start to feel the working resistance on the leg. Go ahead and turn it up 1 full notch up, and you're gonna start to feel how heavy it gets.
Yeah.
Now it's a lot harder on the saddle, so we're gonna start to push down using the quads. Now this is where you start to activate the heels. So right and left, left and right. Perfect.
Getting the tips of my quads here.
Yep.
They're irritated right now.
So we're gonna take it up, we're gonna try standing climb. And this is where we move side to side. So you can slow it down and you're gonna start to really feel the resistance in the legs. So pull the knees up, push the heels down. Pull and push, pull and push. It's as if we're going uphill. Yep. Perfect. You can bring the butt back a little bit more. Awesome. And then we're gonna take it up as if we're hovering, feeling it more into the quads.
Oh yeah.
And then we're gonna bring it back, activating the glutes again and the hamstrings. So we go over these different drills to work the full lower body. And we're gonna come down and climb on the saddle. So always on the saddle is a little bit harder. You can go ahead and release if you'd like.
My quads are already killing. It's crazy. Well, I mean, that's how I felt the last time I did cycling. Just unbelievable pump.
Yes.
Right behind the knees.
Yes. So I get asked a lot about my quadzillas, and I feel like, I really feel like it's from spin for sure.
Absolutely.
It's genetics, but it's also from spin.
Correct.
Can I get a shot of your quadzilla?
Can't really see it on me in the leggings, but also the reason why I like spin, you can go ahead and back off. We'll have you recover a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep your chest up. You're gonna have your hands at 2. So this is our active recovery. I call this active recovery.
Yeah.
So we're still working, heart rate's still high. Perfect. Breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. So you look at it. He looks like a regular spinner.
She's too nice. It's the instruction.
So right here, you can start to use more of your toes because we're pulling back just a little bit. Now the reason why I like spin so much is because, well, I have a lot of runner friends, I do. And a lot of them do a lot of the 5Ks, they do the triathlons, which is amazing. But running also is harder impact on the legs, on the hips, on the knees. I've known quite a few people that have had, yes, surgery in their knees and in their hips just from running alone. So I'm not gonna knock it. Everybody has their own particular way of working out, which is amazing. And whatever you find, you should always just stick with that, whatever you enjoy, right? With spin in itself, it's lower impact. You kind of take it at your own pace. You can stop and keep continuing when you'd like to go. It's very friendly with the body. It's basically like when you were younger riding a bike. There's nothing unfamiliar with riding a bike. So that's what I really like about spin, is it's easy to remember. A lot of the motions we go over, like the upper body movements, it helps alongside with all the other achievements you're trying to achieve with your results.
How about for people that are maybe mothers that have given birth recently, or like post-operative people, if they want to get back into exercising, but they just came, like they had surgery recently?
Okay, so with spin, depending on what your doctor recommends, or if he clears you, just depending on how birth was and if you're normal, or if you're just suggested to use a different kind of format for you getting back into shape. Spin is low impact as well. I think the only thing they probably might have a problem with is just feeling it in the lower core if they've had some kind of surgery. But then you can always kind of wear your wraps. They have wraps and whatnot. I like this because it's an hour for moms. Paradise offers a daycare. You're in, you're out. I believe your child has to be 1, but the 1 hour that you put for yourself is 1 hour that'll benefit you for a lifetime. and it'll definitely make you happier. It'll make your child happier. You can run and play and be just as active as they are.
I love it. Yeah, okay, so let's just go ahead and get off the bike. So we can wrap it up. No, I love how.
No, look at, we just got cardio in
Yeah.
for you. Perfect.
But I gotta get close to the mic, and I love how.
Just jumped right off the.
Well, I need to talk on the mic, right? But I love how we have this, active recovery aspect of it, and of course, when you're running the class, you have specific parameters that you have to meet throughout as the class ramps up and things like that. But it's good to know, especially for people out there, that when they come to the class, they're not forced to stick to the pace
Yeah.
that you're calling. It's like if you need to back off, they can back off.
Yes, and that's what I like about spin as well. Is I usually turn the lights off because we act all as one pack. So nobody's looking at you, nobody's trying to judge you, and even if you feel like that when you're in here, I always tell people if they are starting out, gym is just like church. We're all here for one reason, and we should always use that reason to try to get better, be better versions of ourselves, not only for ourselves but for our families. So just keep that in mind and stay healthy.
I love that metaphor, but it's true because when you go to the gym, you get mass. Oh, my legs are really pumped right now. And I just want to speak a little bit to what you were talking about running. And like you said, you're not trying to knock it because running is not bad. However, it is one of the most high impact workouts you can do because it's step, 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 step. And you take thousands of steps when you run, like a 5K. And so you think of that impact. And so it's really good to, and I'll just throw this in. Go ahead.
My 5K friends, they always ask me to go on 5Ks. And I do go. 5 minutes in, I die. I am like, I'll be good.
It's a different workout.
It's definitely different for my legs. I feel heavier. I would try to go the same pace as I would on the bike, and there's just no way of it happening.
Yeah, and honestly, absorbing that impact also is taxing on your system.
sure.
And so traditional, I don't want to say traditional, but what we've been learning is the heel to toe strike. And that's really when you land on your heel, impact affects ankle, knee, hip, lower spine, all the way up to your thoracic spine. So if you're running like that, and then if you're kind of just, how you emphasize the form when you're up here in the core and the neutral spine? Yeah. It's the same thing in running because I see really a lot of bad form in running. And so if you're a runner out there and you love it, more power to you. Do a lot of research, look up pose running systems, and look at how also the importance of your upper body and how you move your arms when you're running, because your legs and your arms move, in a particular sequence, and there's continuity to that.
They move as a unit.
Correct. And just like in cycling where she's talking about shifting your weight side to side, when you shift your hips back, you can really feel the pressure come off of your quads and move back to the glutes and to the hamstrings. Thank you so much, Nikki, for that. For the lesson, for the insight, you know what I mean? I really felt that difference when I shifted my hips back. So ladies, if you want to work on those hamstrings, and especially your dogging, cycling is definitely a good workout. I used to say deadlifts, box jumps, and lunges, but now cycling is fantastic. Again, Nikki, Julius, Fit AF, we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.